The Urgent Global Wake-Up Call, Part 4. Kyrios prophesies, the virus causing COVID-19 will mutate into a supervirus to claim human lives. This supervirus will become even more ferocious. Once humans are infected with it, they will die more quickly and more painfully. Kyrios warns, everyone must understand the virus causing COVID-19 will infect animals and birds, especially rodents and bats. Once the virus infects animals and birds, it will mix with other pathogens in their bodies, causing DNA mutations and giving rise to a deadlier supervirus. Earlier on in August 2019, Kyrios prophesied a virus similar to SARS will emerge. She only told this prophecy to friends in the medical professions in Singapore's Tan Tock Seng Hospital. Sure enough, in December of the same year, COVID-19 began to spread in Wuhan. Kyrios says, SARS virus has thinner spikes. Once infected, the person will immediately develop flu-like symptoms before developing a fever and reaching critical conditions. COVID-19 virus is a mutation of the SARS virus with thicker spikes. Incubation period can last between 1 to 5 weeks before symptoms appear. Thus, this disease is easily underestimated as an illness that is of no big deal. To control the spread of COVID-19, right from the start, the Chinese authorities decisively placed a lockdown on Wuhan, closed the Huanan seafood wholesale market, and forced a total ban on illegal wildlife trade, and abolished the distasteful habit of eating exotic wildlife indiscriminately. This act of liberating lives has, in fact, served a meritorious cause. Consequently, China is able to bring the pandemic crisis under complete control. In contrast, COVID-19 is running rampant across many countries all over the world. Regardless of region, wealth, religion, race, gender, or age, COVID-19 treats everyone equally and claims life without discrimination. As of 30th April 2020, global reported COVID-19 infection cases surged past 3.2 million, and global reported COVID-19 linked deaths soared to 220,000 people. Everyone is beginning to worry and fear for their families and themselves, suffering the agony of isolation, whether at home or in hospital wards, and being unable to roam freely. Daily activities of people and the business operations of entire nations have been paralyzed. Livelihoods of many people are at stake. If everyone continues to sin and commit wrongdoings, they will only inflict harm and suffering upon themselves, as if being given a jail sentence. Kyrios says, humanity must understand the true principles of being human. This disaster is the result of humanity reaping the misfortune they sowed. COVID-19 serves as a lesson for everyone to cease taking lives, to stop killing and eating any more land, air, and sea creatures. Vendors must never, for the sake of livelihoods, brutally slaughter all kinds of land, air, and sea creatures, or ruthlessly skin them alive until they die in agony. Diners must never, for the sake of fulfilling their gluttony and enjoying gourmet food, use all kinds of cooking methods to butcher and eat these lives, or go so far as to eat land, air, and sea creatures alive. And those cruel, sadistic people who, for the sake of a fleeting moment of thrill, savagely and mercilessly take the lives of others and purposefully torture them until they die in pain and suffering. The helplessness, unwillingness, hatred, and vengefulness that these lives felt as they died transformed into an overwhelming hatred and negative energy, bringing about disasters to claim their revenge. Kyrios says, if you spare the life of others, the virus will also spare yours. After patients recover from COVID-19, if they do not change their dietary habits and quit eating meat, they will easily be infected again. At that point, their conditions will be more severe and difficult to recover. Does anyone realize why young children are rarely infected with COVID-19? That is because children have eaten far less meat than adults and senior citizens. COVID-19 is a lesson to all humanity that human beings must have conscience and empathy. They must put themselves in the shoes of others to feel the suffering and pain of the tortured. Today, you kill and eat animals. And so when you are reborn as an animal in your next life, and humans torture you till you die in agony, will you hate humanity? Will you not want vengeance? Whether you believe it or not, none of us can escape the laws of heaven and the principles of earth. Every person who dies will be reincarnated as another life form. It may be a human, an animal, a bird, an insect, etc. The life form you are reborn as is determined by all the good and bad deeds that you've done before your death. Every land, air, and sea creatures, and even insects are a life form. If you kill and eat them, will it not be equivalent to you killing people? The virus causing COVID-19 loves to feed on flesh. Especially human bodies containing animal DNA are what the virus prefers. Humans kill and eat animals. The virus kills and eats humans. Every consequence has its cause. This is the cyclic system of heaven and earth to mete out retribution and punishment. If we continue to be ignorant and see knowingly, then we must prepare to receive the coming of another mutated supervirus that will give rise to an even more brutal global massacre. While the earth only has a few years left, everyone must wake up, realize the truth, acknowledge your wrongdoings, and correct your misconducts. Only when everyone truly practices the universal truth self-cultivation, cease killing and sinning, will we and our next generation be able to live on earth carefreely, peacefully, and happily.